Hello, Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Leading the Charge. Matt Bove, Howard Simon, Joe Biscaglia. We have one segment left on television, and then we will be joining you for our second half hour of Leading the Charge, as we always do. We will, of course, answer your questions. So please, if you want to vent, if you want to talk about something, if you want to ask your questions, put them here. We will answer those. We have one segment coming up on TV, and then we'll be back to you guys. All right. 15 seconds until last TV segment.
You folks missed the part about Bove being 4'1".
Yeah, it was a good one. All right, we're back. All right, this is no panic meter, but this is our way of wrapping up the first half hour, our final thoughts. Howard, you usually lead us off, so you can do it again.
I'll save my Bills grievances for the next segment on
Totally
the show.
fair.
So my grievances, my final thought is, shut up, Boston sports fans. You're annoying already. Look, it's a nice win. Really good win. I think you're going to be a playoff team. I think you actually have a real quarterback for the first time since Tom Brady left town. But shut up. He's not Tom Brady yet. He's good. Don't overblow a win like this. Okay? Guess what? The king didn't die. Long live the next king. It's still the Bills. They're going to win the division. You're an improved team. I like a lot of things the Patriots are doing, but please stop. You didn't win a division last night. You didn't win a Super Bowl. Shut up. Okay? Let's go.
That was good. All right, go ahead.
My final thought is...
Is it going to be as good as his?
No, not at all. My final thought is giving credit to Connor McGovern, because he must have had a pretty nasty injury to his hand. Goes to the locker room for a couple minutes. He's only in there briefly, comes back out, gets a wrap on it, and then doesn't miss a single snap. You see him in the locker room. He's got a huge ice pack on that thing. I'm like, man, and that's
He was down on the turf after some plays, and it took him a while. Like, you could tell he was in pain.
It's his snapping hand too. So I'm like, that's toughness right there. So my final thought is Connor McGovern is a lot tougher than I am.
My final thought is,
Flash.
yeah, right. My final thought, and if you're somebody who's like really into the salary cap, you're going to roll your eyes like Joe is, and he's going to tell me why this could not happen and how this is impossible. The Cincinnati Bengals season is going to come to an end because they do not have a franchise quarterback right now, and clearly they are struggling. They need to start thinking about the future. If you're the Buffalo Bills, if you're Brandon Beane, you should get on the phone and you should be trying to figure out what it costs to have Trey Hendrickson on this team for strictly a one-year rental. Joe is already shaking his head back and forth.
It doesn't make sense.
It does make sense because they need a pass rusher. They don't have a pass rusher that's very good right now. They have a fine Greg Rousseau and a really, really sporadic Joey Bosa. Trey Hendrickson would immediately become their most dangerous person on the defensive line. And what is it going to cost you for a one-year rental? I don't know, a third or a fourth round pick. All right, I'm getting told I have to wrap now. So we're wrapping. We're going to come back and answer your questions. And during the commercial, Joe can tell me why I'm wrong. Even though I'm not, I'm right. We'll be right back.
I thought you were going to ask
why
for
is it a
Jamar
bad
Chase.
idea?
I swear, I thought you were asking him to call about
I know
Jamar
he makes a bunch of money. You don't got to pay him in the future. You just got to figure it out for this year.
It doesn't matter. Well, yes, by figuring it out this year, you also have to pay him into the future.
Okay.
It's under a one-year deal, though, isn't
it? Doesn't matter because the only way they're going to fit him under the cap is if
they
they
gotta
roll
extend
into future years.
Yeah.
And
you would have to give something up for him.
Okay, we're live, so just so everybody knows. How about this?
Okay. Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Would you trade Greg Rousseau
for who?
Trey Hendrickson?
No.
Well, it would also be a way of clearing up some cap space.
You think
It's not a
Rousseau's
ton of cap space
is
in this year,
bad?
though.
But only if if you think it's now going to be a bad contract going forward.
All right, so what are the chances Brandon Beane makes a move at the trade deadline? Well, there we go.
I think it'll happen.
Sup chat. Hendrickson wouldn't fix anything on this team IMO. Very concerned about Trey White's performance the last few games. I'm real concerned about future opponents we will be playing. I think he is going to be targeted. What other options do we have? Not sure first-round rookie is the answer. There's a lot of stuff there. That's something we'll talk about in the start of the second half hour, which is coming up in a minute. I have to connect my AirPods. Can you guys? Yeah, you guys can lose that. You guys want to say hi to everybody on the stream?
Hello,
everybody on the stream.
Beauvais wrong about Trey Hendrickson.
No, not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
His base salary is $16 million, dude. They're already right at the cap.
Okay, just do something.
Yeah. How about a receiver again?
There you go.
Oh, Chris
Now
Olave
we're talking.
is going to be a Bill.
That's why I knew you didn't mean.
I don't
Jamar
think the
Chase,
Saints
but
would move on from Olave.
Get a receiver.
I don't
think they'll sign him.
Can they pay him?
No, they can't pay him.
Get a receiver.
I'm not going to get myself going because
Raheem Shaheed?
No, this is a a column that I'm putting in the oven, and I'm waiting for it to bake later in the year. But,
Don't spoil it because I pay to see your writing. So.
no, it's just the receivers they could potentially add are just
meh.
There's no great guys, right?
I mean, you could talk yourself into a Calvin Ridley. Oh, we're about to be back.
Let it be known, last week we were 6 minutes late to the start of the second half hour. Tonight, we're only 4.5 minutes late. We are making progress.
Getting better. By the end of the season, we'll be on time.
We are welcome, everybody, to the second half hour of Leading the Charge. Matt Bove, Howard Simon, Joe Biscaglia here. On this half hour, what we do is we answer all of your questions. We go online. We figure out where you're watching from. It amazes me that the internet works in other parts of the country. That's basically what we do. So, I think there's a really interesting.
You're from Manitoba?
What? Manitoba? You're watching?
They have internet there?
When another continent comes in, my mind is basically just blown. This is a comment from Gary that I want to bring up. It's really, really long-winded, but I think that's okay because there's a lot of ways to go. And I do think that this is a big talking point. Gary essentially says that he is very concerned about Tre'Davious White the last few games and that he thinks he will be targeted and taken advantage of moving forward. Where do we stand on the cornerback position? Because they don't have a whole lot of other options right now.
There is no other option.
Can he answer the second part and I'll answer the first part?
Sure.
So if you weren't with us, if you're on the stream, you weren't able to see the first half hour of the show. We opened the show and Matt brought out the panic meter and asked us where we were 1 to 10. Now I said 4, but that's for the team. If you would have said, where's your panic meter about cornerback 2?
8.
I would have said close to 10.
Yeah.
But we knew it was going to be an issue going into the season. We were just, hey, maybe this Hairston guy will be good. Oh, he's hurt. Crap. We talked about it last week, guys. I love Trey White. I really do. I would sign up for his goalie academy every day of the week. I don't think he can hold up. He's not in every snap corner. I don't think he can hold up over the course of the season, whether it's his body won't hold up or his play won't hold up anymore. I think his best days are behind him. That's a problem.
Yes.
And this is where Joe's going to come in because I'm panicking because I don't think there is an answer on the roster.
They do not have an answer on the roster as it stands today. And
that's a problem.
Tre'Davious White is going to continue to be their starter without question for as long as they don't make a move of some kind, because the Dorian Strong injury is extremely important here because what they were doing
they were starting to rotate him in.
They were just giving him some reps just to give him some experience in the event that one of these two guys go down with an injury and just to get a basic knowledge of what he is in an actual game setting. Now he has a neck injury. He's put on injured reserve. When Sean McDermott was asked about if it's within the realm of possibilities, if he could get shut down for the entire season, he said, we can't rule anything out at this point. All we know is he's going to see a specialist, and when you go to see a specialist for a neck injury, not usually good. So,
and they have not ruled out the possibility Hairston doesn't even come back, right?
Right. They haven't ruled that out. He's starting to work more and more. I want to see him move side to side rather than just straight line because that's the biggest
kind of
thing.
Important.
Yes, very, very much so for cornerbacks. And I've said this before about Maxwell Hairston.
He wasn't great in the summer.
Before he got injured, his technique was lacking, and he was very clearly behind Tre'Davious White. So those that think that Hairston's going to walk in and just grab the starting job right away is just a little foolhardy. All they have left right now is Jamarcus Ingram, and he's not a starting consideration. So you almost wonder, is their deadline move a cornerback again? It could be.
Yeah.
It very well could.
Could it be Russell Douglas again?
It
probably could, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not having a bad year down there.
Well, they have no cornerbacks left, so I don't know if they'd want to get rid of them. Although their season's done.
Unless this is somebody trolling me, Aaron Rodgers commented, could we go get Stephon Gilmore as a number 2 replacement? I mean, he is available.
I don't think Stephon Gilmore wants to come back to the winter.
I don't think so either. I mean, Brian commented Max Hairston will be back after the bye week. Brian, I don't think that's the case. I mean, I could see them opening his 21-day window when they come back from the bye, but then he has 3 weeks to get up to speed. Then he's on the active roster.
Just to get added to the roster.
Just to get added to the roster.
How many practices did he have before getting hurt?
Like
he had 4 non-padded.
That's nothing.
And 1.5 padded.
He needs so much time.
Yes.
I mean, and this is the conductor of the Fire McDermott train has commented
that
here.
Kind of week.
I doubt they have cap room to get someone decent like Gilmore. I don't know if that would be the issue, because if you're still available, you'd probably be pretty pumped to come get a couple $1 million for half of a year of work. I just don't know if that's the guy that would want to come back here. Like, that's what I don't see happening.
Yeah.
Would Russell be an upgrade over Trey right now? It's like kind of a wash.
Yes. No, it's not a wash. I think Russell
Better
had a very misunderstood year last year.
Uh-huh.
He just got asked to play man coverage in the playoffs, and he's not a man cover corner. They're playing zone. He's pretty good.
Did they play man last year because of Elam and because they didn't have Benford, so they had to switch to man, and that's not how he's supposed to.
And because they couldn't generate pressure in the Chiefs game, and Mahomes was getting the ball out super quick, so they switched to man to try and put more pressure on him, and it was just a error after
I'm not
error.
laughing at that. I'm laughing at you brought up it's that kind of week. The conductor of the Fire McDermott train says this train has been running ever since 2022. So obviously we know how you feel. All right, if you're watching on the TV side of things, we are going to take a quick commercial break. If you are watching on the stream, well, don't go anywhere. We've got more questions that we will answer and more we'll talk about. Wow. 1 minute. I don't know if I hit the right time in Scabs, but whatever. Either way, feel pretty good about it. All right, some questions from Twitter or comments from Twitter. Adopt more dogs. Panic because they haven't looked good in probably 15 of the 20 quarters they have played. I mean, are you panicking?
I don't agree with that.
I don't know if I would agree with that either.
No. Like I said, I wouldn't panic no matter what. I would just be concerned that we're now through 5 games and we're still waiting for this team to play a more consistent brand of football.
Sure, but the thing I'll say to that, and I don't disagree with you, is that they are tied with the best record in the NFL.
Yeah,
and tied for first place.
And that's why you don't have to panic. If they were sitting in lower in the division, you might start freaking out. But as I said, look around the league. Mm-hmm. Chargers are having problems.
The one thing I will,
the one injured, they're having issues. Kansas City is who knows what.
The one thing I will say is that the Patriots' schedule, is fourth place schedule, is so unbelievably favorable.
Oh, is it?
They could go on a.
They're going to be a volatile team this year. I think.
Mean, they lost the Raiders week 1, right?
Right, and
they blew the Steelers game.
They blew the Steelers game. I think they're going to do exactly what the Bills kind of did in 2019, where it's just kind of this up and down. And they're going to have some really high highs like they had on Sunday night. I could be completely wrong. I really like Drake May. As soon as I watched him on film last year, I'm like, they got it.
Yeah,
they have him.
That play he made, I swear to God, I don't know how Daquan Jones didn't get that sack.
It's like Josh Allen.
And he did that same play. He did that, 3 or 4 times? Where there's a guy on him and it looks like it's a sack and he gets the ball out for a game.
That zone beater 30 yards down the field was
a Josh Allen play.
That was a beautiful throw.
I mean, it's crazy because you talk about the margins. Like you brought up the OPI that they took before the Josh Allen interception. That other play, that Daquan Jones play, if he brings him to the ground,
it's a 10-yard loss.
It's a 10-yard loss, and now the clock is running.
Right.
Now, if you're the Patriots, you might be literally trying to run out the clock.
Right.
So, I mean, you're going to probably...
Instead, you're at the 40.
That's what I mean.
First down at the 40.
Now, all of a sudden, you only have to get 20 yards, which they did on one play.
Yep.
Is it Boutte or
yes,
Booty?
Booty.
Keyshawn
I'm sorry, Booty. That's what they were calling on the telecast.
All right, I think we're coming back. We've got a couple good questions here from Lee and from Scott that are watching.
Nice to see Aaron Rodgers is following the show.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, he did have a bye week, so that makes sense that he is keeping tabs on what's happening here in Western New York.
You get to see him again.
We do get to see Aaron Rodgers again later in the year. The Pittsburgh Steelers might win the AFC North. I still think that the Ravens could get hot, but they have the Rams coming off of a bye.
They might start Snoop Huntley this week.
They have so many injuries too. Mm-hmm. They have nobody on defense.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's so bad.
We're coming back in like 15.
Hard watching that game. Snoop Huntley. Wow.
All right, welcome back, everyone. This is a question from Scott, but it actually goes to a conversation that we were having in the first half hour, so that's why I want to bring it up. He says, any issues with Joe Brady's play calling as of recent, so we'll say as of lately. I think we all probably would say we have some issues with at least some aspects of it.
Yeah, I think there are just a little – it's tough because he has go-tos because they work, but I think the go-tos are gone to a bit too frequently for me. Like the screen plays out to the side. Like there was one time where there was a setup play where it was absolutely perfect. Like they faked the screen over to Khalil Shakir, And then Josh Allen looked to Dalton Kincaid because they had a touchdown on it on a previous game, which drew the zone defender back towards Kincaid. And then he just went back to Shakir, and it was like a nice little 8-9 yard gain. So like those plays are good, and they're a continuation of things that they had done in previous games. But then even still, like you have just these similar tendencies of going to,
end arounds to Dawson Knox.
Well, yes, 13 personnel.
Never do that again.
13 personnel zone runs, which are very successful in most of their games. It just wasn't working against the Patriots because they were ready for it. The wide receiver screen with Dalton Kincaid and another receiver.
They do it all the time.
All the time.
They do it all the time. I feel like I've seen them do it like 20 times this year.
I also have a relatively, everyone brings up the Dawson Knox handoff play because it blew up exponentially.
Even if it didn't blow up, I would not run that play with Dawson
Knox.
Knox.
Going to get a 3-yard gain.
But there was also a third down play down near the goal line where Josh Allen, does like this little hop to like do a zone read, a read option, and takes
and
he kept it,
and
it
went nowhere.
It blew up
rather
than. And one thing that I really liked what Sean McDermott said is like sometimes you just gotta go downhill, and I'm like, immediately that play came to my mind. Like they blew an opportunity right then and there because they tried to do like a misdirection on 3rd and 3, and it goes for.
Doesn't it just feel like they're too predictable at times?
Well, yeah, I was going to say it was a weird game last night because you're watching it and you get a sense that there's no explosive plays in the offense anymore. But Palmer had one. I think did Samuel have a 20+? I think there were.
That was a flea flicker.
It was a flea flicker.
But I mean, there were downfield throws, a few downfield throws. But to me, some of the issues are things that were talked about at the end of the Daboll tenure. Like it doesn't seem either they're not getting open or they're not in space and they're not getting yards after catch, which for the last 2-3 years, the Bills made a big deal after we got to get yak yards.
Yak.
Well, I mean, I love Shakir. Last night, he averaged 7.5 yards per reception.
Yeah.
Coleman was 4.5. That's ridiculously low.
It feels like now this is being very broad, and I understand that. It feels like so many times their plan is we're going to run it on first down, and because James Cook has been really good and the offensive line is great, that usually leads them to a favorable second down situation. But when it doesn't, then they start to scramble, and that's when the mistakes start to happen. And if there is an issue or a penalty, then they don't know what to do. Like they're like, Josh, go do something crazy. And usually he does, where he's like jumping in the air and throwing a rope to Kincaid or scrambling when he's against man coverage. It just feels like, hey, sometimes they forget Josh Allen is their quarterback.
This is where having Josh Allen
30 seconds
is a gift and a curse because there can be an over-reliance on him to be incredible.
Yes.
And too often, by not challenging a defense deep down the field, this has been a sticking point in Kansas City. They've been wanting to challenge teams down the field to open things up, and finally they're able to. The Bills are not able to do that. They don't have receivers to do it.
We'll continue this during the commercial break. If you're watching on TV, we'll be right back. Yeah, they don't have a vertical threat.
Which gets back to the wide receiver discussion that we were having, which gets back to the point of the gift and the curse is that Josh is so good, you think you can put anybody out there at wide receiver, and they'll become stars because it's Josh.
When the answer is if he had a star there with him, it could help unlock the offense to a stratosphere that they don't even know yet.
That's right.
Because you would have.
Which, by the way, has to be done because the defense isn't going to win you a championship.
James Cook.
This offensive line.
Special.
The offensive line is going to be different next year. I'm pretty sure there's probably two.
Is there anybody even remotely available that
now?
Yeah, probably not.
No.
So I mean, this is an off-season conversation, and they're not going to do it again. They're going to. They're going to go draft a linebacker.
I don't know that they wouldn't do it this time around.
I don't have the faith.
Do they even have the means to do it? Do they have is the cap space impossible? And
I don't know that it would necessarily have to be going and get somebody like they did for Stephon Diggs. Like it could be a younger player. Just keep throwing
darts,
spaghetti at the wall.
Again, that's what Kansas City does.
Trade for Garrett Wilson. I mean, Garrett Wilson's incredible.
He just
signed for a massive contract.
They're not getting rid of him.
He's not moving. I don't think Olave, who knows.
I love Olave, but I don't think he helps what he needs.
He's a little bit too much like some of the
He's an intermediate guy. He's a great separator. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love him as a player. I just don't think he's going to challenge defenses the way that the Bills would need him to.
Aren't you a Jacoby Myers guy too?
I am a Jacoby Myers guy.
And he asked for a trade in the summer.
Yeah,
I kind of stink.
He similarly does not give them, and he basically operates out of the slot more often. So I don't think he gives them that element that they're looking for. They need speed. They need verticality. They need being able to
Xavier
stretch the
Worthy,
field.
for example.
Like what happened? Sorry, what happened to the shots, the contested catch shots down the field to Keon Coleman? Like they're gone.
Are we forgetting that Gabe Davis might be coming back at some point?
Okay, Gabe Davis on one knee.
Yeah. But go fast and go straight. And it's not even really fast. It's just go
straight
down the field. Exactly.
I will say
beyond 10
to your
yards.
point to Gabe Davis, the one thing he is very good at and where he had a remarkable chemistry with Josh is when plays broke down.
Yes.
And I don't know that anyone else on the roster outside of Shakir right now has that sort of chemistry with Josh.
Definitely
So
true.
wasn't there? I don't even know if you call. I guess it wasn't a contested catch. There was that one leaping grab. Coleman had a guy on him, but then went way up in the air to make a catch. That was the really
Are you
Pretty-
talking about the one that
last night. He had a
like
really
in the
pretty
end zone? Oh yeah,
leaping catch. It was a completion.
Yeah, that was
There was a guy on him.
that was a nice play,
Yeah.
but it went for what, 8 yards?
But yeah, I think it might have been a conversion, but it was a short play.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was a nice play. It was like,
You still have one more break, right?
yeah. All right, welcome back, everyone. Brian says, "Is this the time in the show to discuss the punting?"
Yes.
Yes!
So clearly, we've got a
That
regular.
was on my
here.
list of grievances. Go.
It wasn't good, folks.
Okay.
Mitch Wishnowski,
Uh-huh.
great name, great accent. His first punt,
Was a bunt.
It was like
basically.
27 yards.
It was a pin them deep situation. 27 yards, went out at the 15-yard line. They also took a penalty. Net yardage 27. He had a later punt of 43 yards that was returned, but for 0 yards, so a net of 43. Average of 35 net yards, which is lower than both Brad Robbins and Cameron Johnston. You want to know something remarkable? Can't talk because I'm on 1 hour of sleep. About the Bills punting this year. They have not had a single punt attempt go for 50 yards in the air.
That's
yet
like
this season.
pretty normal that happens.
It happens every punt.
Yeah.
Everywhere else. They have the closest they've gotten was 48.
Okay.
And like 13 or 14 attempts this year,
I
including the ones that didn't count.
all right, you got your punting time. This is a question from Lee. Is Ed Oliver the answer for the defense? What do you think?
He helps.
He definitely helps. I mean, he was maybe the most impactful
He
player
is a
in week
difference maker when
Yeah.
he's in there. Yeah. I don't know that it fixes cornerback too and the safeties, but it certainly helps the pass rush and the interior defense.
Yeah, and Joe brought it up a little bit earlier. It's not nothing that they played this game without both Ed Oliver and TJ Sanders.
And
I
then
know
Milano, by the way, goes down. to
that's what I mean. And Deanne Walker has been the more flashy player and has kind of had the bigger moments. But TJ Sanders has also been able to, at times, get after the quarterback and create some pressure. So not having both of those guys, like the interior pressure helps with a lot, and they didn't really get much of it at all yesterday.
I'm not going to get too much in the weeds, but the Bills at defensive tackle dressed 4 players who are normally, their normal operating procedure is to be that gap plugging one technique, like take on block sort of guy. And they had to have 2 of those guys play out of position. So they're not going to get interior pressure from those guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, listen, I do think that, and I don't want it to be a fallback, I think Hoyt definitely will help. And I think Ogunjobi will still be able to provide more than the practice squad call-ups that they have needed to lean on. Joe doesn't know if he agrees on that. That's the look he's giving me. All right, we have one more commercial break that we will get to on the television side of things. And we'll give you our final thoughts during the break if you're watching online. The one thing I get to, this is a comment from Scott. All 3 levels of the defense has personnel problems. We might feel differently about this. I don't hate it. It's fair. What is the defense good at?
They don't have that answer yet.
That's a problem.
But okay, what they are.
Because if you ask me what are they bad at, I can give you a lot of stuff.
What they are good at. Well, when you look at it like that, then they have a lot of different individual problems that equate into a full thing. But They
don't excel at anything.
They always have gone with the philosophy of
some greater than the parts and all. Yeah.
The full unit being the thing that brings them forward. I will say, Cole Bishop has played a lot better the last 2 games. I know the second half didn't go his way. First half was really good for him, I thought, and I'm only through the first half of the film, so I'm waiting for it to.
Sure. Watch the second half.
Yeah, no, I'm going to.
All right.
I know, I got to.
They lose in the end.
The defensive,
don't ruin it. I got the game taped.
The defensive line, I think, has taken steps forward so far this season. Linebackers have taken a definitive step forward. Terrell Bernard, the last 2 games, I thought has
much
played
better than
really well.
Okay.
So that is an improvement. So now they're hoping that all of these things come together. And by the way, Shaq Thompson has played awesome.
Yeah, he's made some big plays.
Yeah. And not just flash plays, like substance plays.
Do you think that it's Terrell Bernard and Shaq Thompson? Or do you think it's Terrell Bernard and Dorian Williams?
Well, Dorian's hurt.
I know, but he's
Was
apparently
that a 1-game thing, or
I don't know.
Right.
I don't think he's practiced.
We have to be out at 58, so we have 3 minutes.
All right.
okay? You just doing final thoughts?
Yeah,
Okay.
just. All right, welcome back. Any initial Falcons thoughts? We've had a couple of people who are asking questions about the Falcons. Any initial thoughts about that matchup in general and what you think?
I was a little worried about it before the season began.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, when
I
you
was
picked
feeling
the Bills, that was a
I
game
had
that
'em losing
sometimes
that
you'd lose.
game.
Yeah.
And then I was a little much more confident about it as the Falcons played their first few games, and their offense was trash.
Mhm.
And then they had just the game of their lifetime offensively the last time they played before the bye.
Yeah.
So I'm a little back to slightly concerned about that. But whatever. I think, honestly, I do believe the Bills should be pretty focused at practice this week. I think they'll be in a bad mood next week.
Yes, they should.
Well, they have some big-time stars.
The skill positions.
Bijan's awesome.
And Drake London's
Drake London's awesome. Darnell Mooney's hurt right now. So I don't know if he's going to play. Their other receivers, Ray McLeod, who is Bill's legend.
Bill's legend.
Ray McLeod. Their receiver depth chart past those 3 guys falls off a cliff.
Oh, kind of like the Patriots, who just had Stephon Diggs, and it still managed to completely destroy them.
Tight end.
Kyle Pitts.
He's good.
He's
okay.
Yeah.
He had a good game the last game.
Kyle Pitts is.
I have a history with
the
Kyle
perfect
Pitts.
analogy for Kyle Pitts is that he is a frozen water bottle, and whenever he thaws out, it's going to be awesome. But it's been frozen for years. That's what I mean. Eventually, it's going to thaw out.
This has been his best year since his rookie year.
Well, there you go.
My initial thought on the Falcons, and I have not watched nearly enough of them, but it does not feel like Michael Penix is going to be a guy that carves you up the way that Lamar Jackson has the potential of. And
He's
I know
not a dual threat guy.
No, that's what I mean. He's
a
very
pocket
static.
passer.
He's a pocket passer,
Yes.
and it feels like that's
experienced.
And he's
You
still
could throw a lot of
inexperienced.
stuff at him.
I also just think the Bills usually after these games tend to respond well.
And if you throw off his footwork, he will
make a bad decision or two.
Well, he can be forced to spray shot his accuracy.
Bijan's really good. Bijan is phenomenal.
I think this could be a turnover heavy game for the Bills defense to get them back on track heading into the bye.
And it seems like with
good vibes for them.
Sean McDermott's answer on Ed Oliver, him saying that he's hopeful, certainly paints it like that Ed Oliver will be playing in this game. And it feels like he was close in this week.
Yeah.
So I think getting Ed Oliver back would be big. Maybe you get TJ Sanders back. He said he was unsure on him, but he's not ruling him out. So I feel like if you get a full week of TJ Sanders with the bye coming up after that, if you get Ed Oliver back on the field, you're going to get more out of your defensive line. Feels like Greg Rousseau at least took a positive step against the Patriots.
I thought he was great against the Saints.
So, okay.
I thought he played well last night.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's fun. We got over 3,000 people who are watching us right now.
In
and now 3,001 because Chris just came in. So an extra person.
He's not on the stream.
Well, maybe he was before. All right,
not
everybody.
how the internet works,
for
Matt.
Michelle, for Julia, for Joe, for Howard, I'm Matt. Have a lovely evening, everybody. See you guys next Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Tuesday show, right?
Yep.
Normal time, though, right?
Yes.
You know I love you.
Yes.
Over
All
3,000.
right, everybody. Have a lovely.
I thought that was like McDonald's burgers, like over 3,000 sold.
Heather says, these 3 men are a joke. What a waste of airtime. Thank you, Heather. Appreciate you watching. Give us a nice like and comment. Bye, everyone.
Can't make everybody happy.
Yeah.